The Tampa Bay Rays enter 2026 in unfamiliar territory. A franchise known for squeezing wins out of thin air now finds itself rebuilding and sitting at the bottom of the AL East, staring up at division rivals stacked with star power and payroll. Injuries, roster churn, and a wave of prove-it players define this version of the Rays. But if there's one thing Tampa Bay does better than almost anyone, it's finding value where nobody else is looking, and this roster is filled with intriguing underdogs, breakout candidates, and role players ready to punch above their weight. Let's get started with the roster. Starting pitcher, Drew Rasmussen, the staff ace. Elite run prevention, he's poised, he's efficient. Not really a true number one starter in my opinion, but he's highly efficient with that 4.4 WAR, 2.76 ERA in 2025. Should have another solid 2026 season. Shane McClanahan, he's the wild card. If healthy, his best traits, the elite base level stuff, an overpowering fastball slider combo, but brings uncertainty with his injury history and will he be ready for opening day. Ryan Pepiot brings rotation stability, has solid command across his several seasons, had a 1.9 WAR, 3.86 ERA, and 9 Ks per 9 in 31 starts this previous season. Steven Matz, a veteran lefty, slated to start in 2026, brings experience and generates a lot of soft contact. At a .9 WAR, 3.05 ERA, a low 6.9 Ks per 9 in 2025. Should be a decent piece for this roster. Joe Boyle has electric but erratic stuff. Elite raw velocity, strikeout stuff is phenomenal. However, his command remains a major question. At a negative .2 WAR, 10 Ks per 9 in his 9 starts in 13 games in 2025. On to one of the better bullpens in baseball, with multiple pieces able to close out a game. Larry Clevenger, one of the bullpen anchors, brings dominance versus lefties and has elite swing and miss stuff. 1.9 WAR, 2.35 ERA, and 12 Ks per 9 in his 67 appearances in 2025. Edwin Uceta also brings swing and miss stuff, has a high octane ability to strike people out. 0.7 WAR, 3.79 ERA, 12.2 Ks per 9 in 70 appearances in 2025. Brian Baker pitched between the Rays and Orioles this past season. Another high usage bullpen arm with durability and strikeout ability. He's going to miss bats and brings around a 11 Ks per 9 clip. Had a .4 WAR and 4.06 ERA in 2025 in 73 appearances. Should be another solid piece. Steven Wilson, a consistent mineral reliever. He's reliable, covers innings, had a 1.2 WAR, 3.42 ERA, 8.3 Ks per 9 this past year for the White Sox. Mason Engler, another solid depth arm, brings reliability and throws strikes out of the bullpen. Had a .3 WAR, 3.83 ERA in his 29 appearances. Should get another opportunity here in 2026. Cole Sulser. Honestly, he's quietly dominant. A guy who has solid command and limits hard contact. Had a .6 WAR, 1.99 ERA, and 8.7 Ks in his appearances in 2025. Should help out this bullpen in 2026. Kevin Kelly, really a ground ball pitcher, shown great control despite his rough surface numbers. Had a negative .9 WAR, a 5.9 ERA in 2025 in his 41 appearances. If he can minimize issues, he should have another solid year like in 2024. And my expected closer, but this team could definitely have a committee throughout the whole year. Griffin Jacks came from the Twins this past season, traded mid-year. Power reliever has elite strikeout rate, even though his results do fluctuate at times. Had a .5 WAR, 4.23 ERA, 14.1 Ks per 9 in his 73 appearances in 2025. Should open the season as their closer. Onto the roster. Nick Fortes came from the Marlins this past year. A defense-first catcher, handles the pitching staff pretty well. .7 WAR and his 218 at-bats. Only 5 home runs. Decent catcher. Maybe not a real starter, though. Hunter Fiducia struggled offensively. It's a good pitch framer and really a defensive first catcher. Negative .5 WAR. Miserable 151 batting average and his 86 at-bats in 2025. He's got to pick up if he's going to stick on this roster. Yandy Diaz, he's the model of consistency. Brings plate discipline, hard contact. Had 25 home runs and 583 at-bats. Hit 300, 3.4 WAR. Very good player. Jonathan Aranda, one of the best bats in their lineup. Elite contact skills and solid on-base ability. Had a 316 average in his 370 at-bats in 2025, a 3.5 WAR, 14 home runs. Doesn't steal at all, but another great bat in this lineup. Someone I currently would believe is the starting second baseman, though they do need to pick someone up, in my opinion. Richie Palacios, he's a bit of a spark plug, brings energy, speed, solid contact hitter. Might rotate for sure, in my opinion, but I think as of right now, likely to be the opening day starting second baseman. Brett Wisely, recently acquired from the Rays. Good depth piece. Brings versatility all across the diamond. In his career, has a .6 WAR in his 426 at-bats, 7 home runs, 49 RBIs. Could stick to the roster, could be DFA'd as well, depending if they make any more additions to this middle infield. Junior Caminero, the franchise cornerstone. Elite power with run production year in, year out for the next decade plus for this lineup. 4.4 WAR, had 45 home runs and 602 at-bats, hit 264. Phenomenal player. Keller Walls, a glove-first utility man. Best traits, he's a phenomenal defensive player. Brings excellent speed as well at a 2.6 WAR, 4 home runs and 282 at-bats. Not a solid bat, 599 OPS, but phenomenal defensive player. Will stick on this roster throughout the year. Chandler Simpson, he's a game wrecker while on base with his elite speed, stolen base ability, 44 stolen bases and 414 at-bats, hit 295. Honestly, if they let him, he can honestly steal about 100 bases if they let him. I see another 50 stolen base year in 2026. Acquired this offseason, Cedric Mullins. Has a veteran presence. Still has some solid speed, solid defender still. Might have lost a step. Someone who's definitely a midseason trade candidate, in my opinion. Got 17 home runs, a .5 WAR, 22 stolen bases. So, could be a piece for another team midseason. Johnny DeLuca. Had a small sample size, but had standout value. He hustles, good defense, sneaky value. Had a great .6 WAR in his 57 at-bats. Very well may make this opening day roster. Josh Lowe brings a speed power blend, has some athleticism, base stealing, had 11 home runs, 18 stolen bases and 396 at-bats. Needs to pick up the average, but a solid player. Jake Fraley, a platoon bat, has solid contact against righties. Had a .3 WAR, 5 home runs, and 191 at-bats. Should stick on this roster. Could be another possible midseason trade target for a team come the playoff time. On to the rest of the 40-man. Ian Seymour, a sneaky depth starter. Has some pitchability, solid K rate, 10.1 Ks in his 19 games and 5 starts this past year. Will make a bunch of starts for in 2026. Carson Williams. Some of you might be questioning, is he going to be on the opening day roster? He very well may. He's a power-oriented shortstop, brings some major raw pop from a premium position. Also is a possible Gold Glove candidate for the years to come. I expect him as a midseason call-up who will be an everyday starter, though definitely could make the opening day roster, which could push Walls to start at second base. Jacob Mellon, acquired from the Astros. Another person who I think is going to be another midseason call-up and be an everyday starter. Brings speed, power, good blend. One of their top prospects who will also bring solid defense to the outfield. Should be a good player for this team in the future. Hunter Biggie. Limited sample size. Had a .3 WAR, 2.4 ERA in his 13 appearances. Solid run preventer. Good ERA, whip when healthy. Just needs to stay healthy. Will make some appearances for sure in 2026. Justin Henry Malloy. He's a on-base oriented hitter. Good patience, good approach. Has struggled thus far in his major career thus far. In 2025, had a negative .2 WAR in his 104 at-bats. Just 1 home run. Didn't steal any bases, but will make some appearances throughout the year in 2026 for the Rays. Ken Waldichuk, recently acquired. A boomer bust arm, really. A left-hander who has a solid strikeout upside. I don't think his roster spot's guaranteed in the slightest. Had a rough 8.65 ERA in AAA in 2025. Has a 5.28 ERA over his 175 inning pitches in the majors thus far. Joe Rock, a lefty, small sample size, but a good upside. Strikeout abilities very high, very strong. At 12.9 Ks in his minimal appearances this past year. Will make a few starts and games in 2026 for the Rays. Jader Arenamo. He's really a developmental piece. Excuse me, everybody. Has an athletic upside and solid defensively. Hasn't made the majors. should make a few appearances, especially if there's injuries throughout the year, though will heavily be in AAA. Dominic Keegan, another top prospect for this team, still developing, a guy who brings an offensive upside as a catcher, hasn't made the majors, should make some starts for sure this year. I'd give him about 30 starts throughout the year, maybe a little more, but good upside for this roster. Ryan Velotti, it's really a fringe bat, though brings strong positional flexibility. A guy who could be DFA'd here in the near future as a -1 WAR in his career thus far in the majors. Not really a major league player, but could make some appearances here in 2026. Yandris Gomez, someone who I definitely think could make the opening day roster. He's a former starter. I expect him to be a starter in AAA to begin the year and be a swing player here in the majors for the Rays. Has a good pitch mix. Lacks consistency, though, in his career thus far. Decent player. Jesse Schultens, extreme strikeout arm. The ability to miss bats is insane. Health's been a pretty big concern for the most part, but I think he should make some appearances as long as he can stay healthy with that arm of his. Alex Cook, still unproven, hasn't made the majors. It's really a project arm that could make a few appearances. I expect him to stick in AAA the majority of the year, however. Rounding out the 40-man roster presently, injured Manuel Rodriguez. Had Tommy John in August 2025. More than likely to miss the whole season in 2026. Though a great pitcher. So, on paper, 2026 Rays lack the star power that defines most playoff contenders. There's no stacked MVP trio, no dominant household name rotation members, just depth, versatility, and opportunity. That's exactly how the Tampa Bay Rays have thrived for years. If players like Cameron takes another leap, if McClanahan returns to form, and if the bullpen dominates, this team could quietly outperform projections and sneak into the playoff conversation. But with a stacked AL East, I personally only see a 5% chance to make the playoffs at best, and these 2026 Rays are likely around a 73-win team. The Rays may be underdogs, but in Tampa Bay, underdogs are right where they're most dangerous. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like. Please subscribe. Have a great day. Look out for more videos.